Everyone talks about the top 1%, but few truly understand how far that gap really goes. Today, we're climbing the wealth ladder from the top 25% to the top 0.1% to see just how steep it really gets and what it actually takes to join these elite brackets in 2025. Because the truth is, wealth isn't about how much you earn, it's about how your money works for you. According to the 2024 Charles Schwab Modern Wealth Survey, Americans now believe you need $2.5 million to feel wealthy, up from $2.2 million just a year ago. But interestingly, the amount people say they need to feel financially comfortable actually dropped to around $778,000. That tells us something important. People are starting to value security over extravagance. True wealth isn't about flashy lifestyles. It's about control, options, and peace of mind. Now, let's zoom out and look at the real numbers, what it takes to reach each wealth tier in America today. At the top 25%, your net worth sits between $340,000 and $500,000, with an average household income of about $95,000. This group includes teachers, engineers, nurses, people who work hard, save steadily, and see their progress grow over time. But even here, many feel one emergency away from falling behind. That's why an emergency fund, covering at least 3 to 6 months of expenses, is critical at this stage. It's the foundation that protects growth. At the top 10%, things start to look comfortable on paper. A typical net worth ranges from $970,000 to $1.9 million, and income often exceeds $173,000. This group includes doctors, executives, and professionals with stable careers, but much of their wealth sits in illiquid assets like homes and retirement accounts. They may look rich in spreadsheets, but liquidity, actual usable cash, is limited. According to the U.S. Census Bureau, home equity makes up about 28% of total household wealth, and when you include retirement savings, that number jumps to over 60%. So, despite strong balance sheets, many here still feel stretched. Now we reach the top 5%, with net worths between $1.1 and $3 million and incomes around $340,000. Here, the mindset begins to shift. Income alone no longer defines success. This is where people start prioritizing ownership, assets, equity, and investments that grow even while they sleep. Their focus moves from how do I earn more to how do I protect what I've built and make it last. Most are in their 40s or 50s, transitioning from accumulation to preservation. It's not about working harder, it's about working smarter with capital. Climb one level higher to the top 2%, and the numbers rise sharply. Net worth between $2.7 and $5 million. Income roughly $500,000 a year. These are entrepreneurs, corporate leaders, and seasoned investors. At this stage, wealth becomes more strategic, focused on tax efficiency, diversification, and legacy. But new challenges appear: decision fatigue, responsibility, and the constant pressure to sustain success. This is where ambition meets stewardship. Then comes the top 1%, a net worth of $11 to $13 million according to the Federal Reserve Bank of Richmond. Nearly 80% of these individuals are self-made, and they didn't get here through salaries. They built wealth through ownership, businesses, real estate portfolios, and intellectual property. Their money now works harder than they do. They've shifted from earning income to managing ecosystems of assets. Finally, at the top 0.1%, the numbers become almost unreal. Average net worth over $62 million. Roughly 130,000 U.S. households sit in this bracket. Here, you'll find founders, hedge fund managers, and multi-generational families whose wealth compounds through private markets, investments, and inheritance, shaping industries and even influencing policy. At this level, wealth isn't linear, it's exponential. The difference between the top 10% and the top 1% isn't just money, it's access. Access to time, networks, and opportunities that multiply what they already have. As of mid-2025, the U.S. has about 24 million millionaires, roughly 1 in every 15 adults. But remember, millionaire doesn't mean $1 million in cash. It means your assets minus debts total 7 figures. The U.S. added nearly 300,000 new millionaires in 2024 alone, driven by compounding investments and rising home values. Here's the key insight. Most millionaires don't rely on a single paycheck. They have on average 7 income streams, from jobs, businesses, dividends, real estate, interest, royalties, and partnerships. Think of it like a table. The more legs it has, the sturdier it becomes. If one source slows down, the others keep you steady. But before building multiple streams, you need stability. A 3 to 6 month emergency fund in a high-yield savings account may not sound exciting, but it's the engine that keeps your wealth strategy alive when life throws surprises. And here's the part most people overlook. True millionaires are rarely flashy. They're often small business owners, professionals, or dual-income families quietly building over decades. Studies like The Millionaire Next Door show that most wealthy Americans Americans live below their means and value independence over image. A Ramsey Solutions survey of 10,000 millionaires found that 79% built their wealth from scratch, not inheritance. And the Rich Habits study found that 61% of self-made millionaires are small business owners. Wealth doesn't happen overnight. It grows quietly through discipline, consistency, and patience. Now, what do the wealthiest people all have in common? 3 core habits appear again and again. First, clarity before growth. They track every dollar, their income, expenses, and net worth, like a business tracks profit. You can't grow what you don't measure. Second, an equity mindset. They prioritize ownership in companies, properties, or ideas, instead of trading hours for income, because wealth comes from equity, not effort alone. Third, time leverage. They build systems, teams, and investments that keep working even when they're not. They understand that time is the ultimate non-renewable resource. Ultimately, real wealth isn't just about fortune. It's about freedom. The freedom to choose how you spend your time, who you work with, and what gives your life energy. That's the real definition of success. And that's what the wealthiest quietly build. Not status, but options. If you found this breakdown helpful, consider subscribing for more videos that decode money, wealth, and the systems behind financial freedom.